the success really has been directly attributed to the guys that we've had. We've had a phenomenal group of guys every year who took the role of building this program with pride and seriously, and they gave everything they had. We were very blessed to be successful very quickly. And, you know, obviously when you're successful, you know, other recruits want to be a part of that. And so it's helped us build maybe a little bit more quickly than you typically would. And that's kind of put us where we are today, where now, you know, we expect to be successful. It's not a surprise. It's not something that we, you know, really set as a goal at the beginning of the year. It's almost an expectation. So it's actually even tougher now because we've had success, because now we expect it, and it's not something that if it doesn't happen, oh well. If it doesn't happen, it's a huge disappointment.
And you talked about success early on. In 2003, pretty much from then on, you guys were successful. Beginning of regional title that you had won. Did that surprise you at all as a coach? Most coaches have a year, maybe or two, where they struggle a little bit. They have to feel for the team. Did that surprise you that you guys were pretty successful off the bat?
I think it surprised me a little bit. I mean, obviously, that's the goal, and you never know, you know, especially early on, if you're going to be able to attain those goals. I'm pretty aggressive personally, so I set some pretty high standards for myself and for the team. But like I said, I think it was a group of guys that just took that into consideration right away, and they weren't willing to wait. And obviously, you know, I don't coach as if we're, you know, preparing for 2 years from now, you know. And so in 2003, we just had a really strong group of guys that really came together. It was a fresh start for a lot of them, and then we had some really good recruits come in that very first year. And so, you know, a surprise, yeah, I think it was. I think, being completely honest, to be that successful that quickly, but it definitely was, you know, in our plans.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now coming off a 14-5 season last year, and you guys were HAC conference champions. Tell us a little bit about that journey. Successful year, you guys did well. You had a lot of good seniors that really kind of went out with the bang. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think in every class you have kind of a group that you build towards, and last year was one of those groups. We had 8 seniors. You know, that a lot of those seniors had been together for 4 years. They had had success, and so it was kind of a 4-year process. And for them, you know, really rewarding to see them end the year the way they did with a conference championship. This conference is incredible. It's one of the top conferences in the country, and so to win it is no joking matter. And it meant a lot to the guys. It meant a lot to me, but it really was a culmination of 4 years of effort. And then the season, you have to have things go your way, and we had a couple slip-ups early in the year in non-conference, and I think that really allowed us to learn from those losses, and so we were really prepared going into conference. And then, you know, we're able to get the results in conference that we need.
And you talked about you lost 8 seniors. What's that going to affect your team like this year? Who do you expect to step up? Do you have any transfers that are coming in? Who should we look out for this season?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's the biggest thing with this year is losing 8 seniors. It's going to be a brand new team. Anytime you lose 8 seniors, you're not going to replace those guys. You're going to bring new players in, but you're going to, in a sense, start over. The one thing is that because of the tradition of success that we've had here, is we use the phrase, and it's a cliche, but you don't want to rebuild, you want to reload. And so that's the mentality we've taken in recruiting. We've brought in 4 junior college transfers. Those guys are guys that have played 1 or 2 years at the college level already. And we did that with the emphasis that we needed to bring in experience. When you're losing 8 seniors, you're going to have some guys that have been waiting in the wings that'll step up. But you need that experience right away. If you replace 8 seniors with 8 freshmen, you're going to go through some of those learning curves, some of those transitions, and it may take you a little bit longer to build back up. And so we've kind of supplemented some really good freshmen coming in with some junior college transfers who are very good players, who also bring experience to our team, which will be important.
What is your goal for this season? As a coach, do you have a specific goal? Is it to build on and go past what you did last year? What's your goal?
Yeah, I think always you kind of evaluate your season and evaluate your team and try to set realistic goals, but yet challenging goals. And you know, as a defending conference champion, I think that's number one, is we want to defend that title. We want to make sure it stays here at MNU, and we don't want to make excuses that, oh well, we lost 8 seniors, you know, we're not going to be able to do it. I think we have a team that can do it. We understand what it takes to win, and it's expected. It's expected within this program and at the school because of the tradition that we've set. The one disappointment from last year is that we didn't make it to the national tournament. We lost in the conference tournament semifinal. We got upset, and I think that's left a little bit of a sour taste in a lot of the guys' mouth that's returning. And so I think our goal really is to go past that, is not just win the conference title, but to win that conference tournament and get into the national tournament and get another experience there. We had that a few years ago, and it's something you don't forget, and something you definitely want to keep going after.
And then lastly, you start your first 3 games on the road, first in Nebraska and then 2 games in Utah. Do you think that'll affect, I don't know, the way your team plays? Is it harder to start on the road, or do you think it'll just be a good challenge and it'll help you build throughout the season?
We've typically done that here. It's not really by design, to be honest with you, but we've typically started on the road. We want to play really tough games before we head into our conference because our conference is so brutal that we need to be prepared for that. The other thing is that when you're on the road, the one advantage is your team's together. And so some of that chemistry and some of those things that take time to build, when you're on the road, you're on a bus, you're on a plane, you're in a hotel room, you're doing things as a team. It helps build that team camaraderie a little bit quicker, a little bit that chemistry a little bit sooner. If you're not on the road and you're at home, you're in familiar surroundings. So after practice, you go back to your dorm, you go back to your apartment, the team kind of separates and spreads out. So being on the road is it tougher? Yeah, it's tougher to play on the road. But I think it prepares us, and I think it kind of seasons the guys a little bit so that they're more prepared, when we do get into conference and we do have tough road games, they've already been there.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. We're looking forward to next season. You can catch the Pioneers men's soccer team. Their season kicks off August 29th at Dana College in Nebraska. Stay tuned to MNU's athletic website for updates throughout the season.